when Trump says, I could have declassified them or should have declassified them, is that an admission that he didn't declassify them properly? And is that going to be held against him?
Well, look, I think that one of the things that we're all missing is the context of these papers that you can hear in the background. What is it that he's actually looking at? And what is he actually flipping through, right? I mean, it's you know, is he flipping through some kind of a description? Is he flipping through some kind of a picture? I mean, we don't know what was actually in front of them. But I think one of the things that matters here is what Tim just pointed out, which was Donald Trump was the president of the United States. Hillary Clinton was only the Secretary of State. You know, Joe Biden, the records that he's talking about are records he got as vice president or previously as a senator, right? And so classified documents are controlled by the president of the United States. Documents are only classified, secret, top secret, confidential, because of an executive order from the president of the United States. All classification authority derives from the president, with one limited exception set by Congress about atomic energy related documents. And so you have this whole kind of that's one angle, and a lot of people have been talking about that. But one of the things that I think is an interesting thought that I hope folks start to think through is you have all this discussion right now about, oh my goodness, President Trump violated the Presidential Records Act, and those weren't his documents, and he couldn't have those documents. Those are the people's documents. And I'm sorry, for me, from coming from a first principles standpoint, under the Constitution, the Congress of the United States has no authority to tell the President of the United States which papers are his and which papers aren't, right? That is ultimately, under the Constitution, the President of the United States has to have that power to decide which documents are his. And so if he has that power, then how can he, and then he takes those documents with him, which is the standard practice of presidents for almost 200 years. George Washington took his papers with him after he left office, and it was actually the subject of a court case later on down the line. He deeded them to his nephew. So how is it now that we fast forward and Congress passes this Presidential Records Act in 1978, Jimmy Carter signs into law and says, oh, well, these are all the people's records, and the president no longer has, you know, kind of an ultimate say-so. If the president possesses the documents from the first instance and has that absolute authority to do so, then how can he be prosecuted under the Espionage Act for unlawful possession of these documents? It's insane. I mean, it just doesn't make sense.
But not only that, first, we're gonna find out in a week or so that there's something more to this video where, like, right after this clip, Trump goes, I mean, these aren't actually any of the real documents. These are just, you know, memos. It'll be something like that.
Right.
And you'll be like, oh, I wonder why that context wasn't provided, because the media does this all the time. But then let's get down to it. Let's get down to it. First, what does this audio prove, if anything? Donald Trump is an idiot? Maybe. Is that it? Is it criminal? It's not. I'll tell you, in 2 seconds, Trump's legal team is going to be like, he was bragging. He was lying. They're not. It's not real. Those are the papers you hear in that audio weren't even those real papers. Where was this audio recorded? Oh, it was in this room? The papers were in a different place the whole time.